Welcome to In Conversation with MANWAR podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the Do Not Be a Bystander campaign. You can join us in raising awareness about bullying by visiting donotbeabystander.com, and be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay informed about upcoming episodes. Today's participants are Naila, Fardeen, and Numaya, and our special guest for today's podcast is Sifat.
Welcome to our Bullying Awareness podcast. I'm your host, Manwar Khan. Today I'm joined by three individuals who are ready to share their thoughts and insight on the topic of bullying. They all have the same goal, eliminating bullying in the schools and in communities. These young individuals are so passionate about addressing the issue of bullying, and that's why you see them here today, and they are ready to empower others. Today's participants are Naila, Fardeen,
Hi.
and Numaya.
Hi.
Thank you, Naila, Fardeen, and Numaya, for joining us today. We have a special guest today, and for our podcast, and that's Sifat. Thank you,
Oh,
Sifat, for joining us. Today, Sifat will share her thoughts about the negative impact of cyberbullying.
yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
You're always welcome. Now that we have introduced our participants, let's get started with the first round of questioning. So, first round questions. The first question goes to Nala. Bullying is a significant problem that impacts students and everybody in the community. So, my first question for Nala: what bullying is? Can you talk a little bit about bullying, different types of bullying, with some examples?
Sure, thank you for having me. Bullying is a repeated and intentional aggressive behavior that involves imbalance between the perpetrator and the victim. It it can happen in various settings. It can happen in various settings, including schools, workplace, and online platforms. There are different types of bullying. For example, verbal bullying, physical bullying, social bullying, and cyberbullying. Some examples of bullying could be a group of students calling another student offensive names or physically assaulting them. Bullying isn't only limited in schools, it has also crawled its way to workplaces. For example, an employee intentionally damaging another employee's work or interfering with their performance or withholding information that they need to do their job properly. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Excellent. Thank you, Nala, for your wonderful insight. And yes, bullying can have profound impact on students and school environment. Students who are bullied may experience physical and emotional harm. So the next question for Fardeen. So identifying if someone is being bullied may not be always clear, as bullying can happen in various forms I mentioned before. Victims may not always openly disclose their experiences. How do you know if someone is being bullied? What are some signs that someone may be the victim of bullying? Fardeen.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I do believe that bullying is a serious problem that affects many people, and in particular, it's like children and young adults. And I do understand that it can be difficult to know if someone's being bullied, as oftentimes victims try to hide what is happening to them out of fear or shame or embarrassment. But however, there are some common signs that may indicate that someone is being bullied. And I think one of the most common obvious signs of bullying is physical harm, such as like bruises, scratches, or cuts. That being said, not all bullying is physical, and victims may also show some emotional or behavior signs, such as like becoming withdrawn or anxious, experiencing changes in eating or sleeping habits, or even avoiding social interactions. I do believe that victims may also exhibit a decline in their academic performance or lose interest in activities that perhaps they once enjoyed, like playing soccer with friends, but not being involved anymore in such interactions. Yeah, that's pretty much it from my end.
I agree with you, Fardeen. Victims of bullying often feel alone, isolated, and afraid. So sometimes I found that being a victim of being a friend of this victim uh, can help them and make a huge difference in their life. Thank you so much. So the next one is for Numaya. So there can be
Hi.
various reasons why someone might bully another person.
Yes.
So my question for you is, what do you think are the reasons why someone might bully another person?
Well, to me, as far as my research that I had done, I think maybe because they might have like family issues. You never know, but that's what most people. That was the most reason why people have done or bullied someone. But or maybe they're just sometimes insecure about themselves. I think, but other than that, I don't really have any other reasons or that I know of that why they would bully someone for absolutely no
Exactly.
reason.
No, that's a great answer. It is important to remember. It is actually important to remember that bullying behavior is never justified and should be addressed with
Hmm.
appropriate intervention and consequences.
Yeah.
Thank you, Numaya, for your answer.
Welcome. You're welcome.
So, with the first round of questions completed, it's time to move on to the second round. Again, my first question for Naila. In context of bullying, there is a term we use, bystander. Bystanders can play an important role in preventing and stopping bullying. So, my question to you, what do you mean by bystander? Can you give some examples?
Thank you for the question. A bystander in a bullying situation is someone who witnesses the bullying behavior but is not directly involved as either the victim or the perpetrators. Bystanders have the power to intervene or they can choose to do nothing about the whole situation. An example could be a student who sees another student being verbally harassed by a group of peers in the hallway. The bystander in this situation can choose to speak up for the victim or can choose to walk away. It's on them. And yeah, that's it. That's
Exactly. So it is important for every individual to recognize what what Naila just mentioned, that the role that bystanders can play in the situation of bullying, and we all have a responsibility for creating a positive and safe environment, and we can do that. It is possible to do that if we stop ignoring bullying. Uh, uh, we cannot, I'm sorry, what I meant is, if we walk away and we ignore that somebody is being bullied, this is not my problem, that's not, we don't want to do it. You can be a bystander, but that has to be an active. You need to take a stand. If you cannot take a stand there, you go and get a help from someone else, but you cannot say that this is not my business. Today it is not happening to you. It can happen to your sister. It can happen to your brother. It can even happen to you tomorrow. So when you see injustice, you take a stand for that. Um, there is a proverb that I like, and there is a quote from someone that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Thank you so much, Nala. My next question for Fardeen: what is cyberbullying? And can you give some examples of cyberbullying and how it affects? I know that in detail, Sifat will be adding more information onto that, but in general, can you define what do you think about cyberbullying and some concrete example give us so that kids at school can understand, okay, what is happening to them? Maybe that is part of cyberbullying.
Sure, I think it's a good question. I think cyberbullying is a form of bullying, obviously, that takes place through most likely online or through like digital communication channels like social medias, like Instagram, Facebook, Twitters, and I do believe that it includes a wide range of behaviors such as like sending threatening messages, spreading rumors or lies, sharing embarrassing photos or videos, or even like creating fake profiles to harass or humiliate someone. Um, in my personal experience, I have seen the most common form of cyberbullying is trolling. where someone intentionally makes inflammatory or offensive comments to provoke like a reaction out of someone. Um, I think another one that I've heard recently is about doxing, where someone publicly shares personal information about someone else, such as their address or like phone number, with the intent of causing harm or harassment. And yeah, that's cyberbullying. I do believe it also creates it can have a serious consequences for victims. It can lead to depression, anxiety, or even other mental health problems. It can do lead to like social isolation, like as I mentioned before, like also academic declines, in performance, or even like suicide, the worst case scenario. I do believe it's we need to take important steps to seriously prevent it. And the biggest step could be like teaching young people about online safety. And I think the biggest responsibility goes to the kids' parents and guardians, and more such as like monitoring the online activity and encouraging them to report any incidents of cyberbullying. That's pretty much it.
Excellent, excellent, great answer. Actually, that's what I was thinking. And also, if we can educate those young people about the safe and responsible internet use, also at the same time promoting empathy and kindness. If somebody is saying something bad about me, uh, I definitely report it. I would definitely go and talk to my adult. And but at the same time, uh, best thing would be, if it's on Facebook, block that person. You don't want to see that. Let your friends know that okay, somebody is doing this for on behalf of me. That's not me, and that's not right. That's and we really need to practice empathy and kindness for this, right? I mean, you have to understand how that other person is going through, right? Thank you so much, Fardin. And my next question is for Numaya. It is important to stand up to bullying and help those who
Mhm.
are being bullied.
Mhm.
So, my question is why it is important to you to stand up to bullying and help those who are being bullied.
Um, Well, it's kind of like but helping when you see someone getting bullied and helping them, and I don't know, it will make me feel better. and and then also there were like I read some stories online, and it said that this one girl helped the other girl, like from not getting bullied, but later the other girl, or the girl who was bullying someone, bullied that same girl. So I don't know, sometimes it's kind of hard for if I was there, but I would be scared at first to go and help the girl being bullied. I would think that the other girl would bully me too, but you need to have confidence and then go and stop it, because it's good for everyone, and also for the child's mental health, because you never know what they might end up doing when they grow up, or later when they're home.
Exactly.
Yes.
It has an impact. It has an impact. I shared that story in my different episodes, and I want to tell you guys too that um, I have never bullied anybody. Some people might laugh when I say that, but I was a very friendly person. I had lots of friends, lots of friends. Half of them was bully at school. So when I saw what I used to do is when I saw that my friends are bullying a person who is sitting at the corner of the table and he doesn't have any friend, the only thing I could do is become a friend of that person. The moment I become a friend, bullying stops right there. So what I'm saying is I was trying not to be a bystander, and you always have to make sure that you are in a safe position to do that, right? Your safety comes first. If you are safe, then you try to help. For me, I never had to go and report to somebody because I could handle it. And for me was these bullies are my friend. Okay, you cannot bully my another friend. So what to do that? I became a friend to the victim. So bullying stopped right there. So these are the other things that if you think it is safe for you guys, try to be a friend of that person. That might help actually, trust me. That might help. That strategy helped me. But thank you so much, Numaya. That was a great answer.
Thank you.
So, with the completion of first two round questioning, before me we move on to the final segment, which is our group discussion, and that was the last question. I would like to invite our special guest Sifat to share her thoughts on cyberbullying and its impact on victim. Sifat.
Thank you so much, Manwar. So, if I talk about cyberbullying, so actually Fardin actually beautifully explained what cyberbullying actually is. And this is something that does not actually happen just when you're offline, because just as Naila mentioned, bullying can actually happen everywhere. So it can happen in various settings. So it's not necessary that you have to be in school. It can happen anywhere, and especially because of this digital arena that we are in, like we are actually connected to different kind of gadgets 24/7, and that's the reason we can be a victim of cyberbullying anytime, because we are actually wrapped up in this bubble of digitization. So for that thing, it's very easy for bullies to actually find us, attack us, and mentally abuse us in some kind of way. So if I talk about the bad effects of this, so there are actually many, but if I just list out few, first of all, what the bullies actually do, they actually pick up on our weaknesses, things that they feel it's very vulnerable for us, but and try to make us feel that yes, we are imperfect, which is not true because everyone is perfect in their own way. But the bullies try to actually show, like pick up on those weaknesses and show it to us in such a way that's actually our imperfection, and that actually causes depression and anxiety. That's the first thing. And that also leads to my second point, that is low self-esteem. So when you actually don't feel good about yourself, you're not being able to carry yourself in the society. And that also leads to the third point, that is self-isolation. You actually feel you're not able to face the society, you don't want to mix with your friends, with your families, and start actually like not going outside and isolating yourself from others. And of course it hampers a lot in your academics, in your workplace, everywhere, like even in your socialization. When you actually go out, you don't like feel good about yourself, you don't like feel like, it's not that you don't feel like studying, it's that you can't focus, you can't concentrate, because there are a lot of things that's already preoccupied in your mind. And finally, which is a very important thing that people like tend to neglect, that is the physical deterioration. Many people think that cyberbullying has a very big impact only on the mental health, but that's not true. It also has a huge impact on our physical health, starting from feeling fatigue or like not being able to eat, having like insomnia or any other thing. This actually has a huge impact, because when we don't feel mentally well, this mental health has a huge impact on our physical health as well. So that is what causes all of these things. So I would like to actually end by saying this, that whatever it is, like not just only normal bullying, but even cyberbullying, if you are actually a part of it, share it with others, call out. So the main thing that you also want to share with this campaign, that do not be a bystander, do your part.
Excellent. I completely agree with your thoughts on cyberbullying, Sifat. It is important to take cyberbullying seriously and to take action to stop it, whether it means reporting the behavior to the authorities or maybe providing support to those who are victim or targeted, right? Excellent. Thank you so much, Sifat, for your insights. So preventing bullying requires community efforts. Here comes the last question for everyone. What can we do as a group or a community to prevent bullying? Whoever wants to go first. Nada.
I would like to speak first. So, um, I personally believe that no one is born a bully. We are not programmed to hurt others or to exclude or to intimidate anybody. Bullying is a behavior that is learned, and it is our responsibility as a society to unlearn it. Some ways to prevent bullying could be to promote kindness, respect, and empathy as a core value in the community. Other ways could be to educate the young generation about bullying and its effects on the people who are being bullied. Another solution could be to encourage individuals to speak up when they witness any bullying situations. And lastly, to establish clear consequences for bullying behaviors and ensuring that they are being enforced. And yeah, that would be it for me.
Excellent. Thank you. Anybody else? Ferdin.
Yeah, I think preventing bullying, it requires a collaborative effort from like all members of a community, including parents, teachers, school administrators, even like community leaders. I think one of the biggest step is to educate young people about the impact of bullying and the importance of treating others with kindness and respect. And this it all can start with including like classroom lessons, school-wide campaigns, and like even community events that focus on building empathy and understanding. Um, I think it's also important that we should create a clear and consistent policies for addressing bullying. That this could include like reporting. Including reporting procedures and consequences for those who actually engage in the bullying behavior. This could help to ensure that victims do feel safe and supported, and most importantly, that bullies are held accountable for their actions. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Excellent. Thank you, Ferdin. Sifat.
Yes, I would like to add on to that. It's since bullying is something that actually hasn't been there, it's something that people actually have, by the time people grew, we actually picked up on these bad habits. So, the most important thing about actually eradicating this from the society is awareness. People need to be properly aware of the fact that bullying actually has a lot of negative impact on others. People just do that just as an act of fun, like just making fun of others, but this is not something that's like an act of fun. Like you're actually causing not just like a very bad impact on someone, you're causing a long-term mental effect. So that's the reason we need to bring awareness, just like the kind of campaigns that people are doing, this show, so actually educate people to make them aware what are the negative impacts. So how like also educating the bullies that what they should also be aware of the fact that what they're doing is wrong. So I think awareness is the most important thing.
True. Whatever is fun for me might be a devastating thing for somebody else.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you. Anybody else want to add anything to this? Sure, Numaya.
Well, I don't have anything to add, but maybe you could, if someone's getting bullied, maybe they could open up to one of their close friends, maybe, and that friend can go to the counselor and they can talk it out with the parents if that works. But um, um, I have seen a little bit of bullying in my school, in the hallways sometimes, but it was apparently just for fun. But still, I went to the counselor and said that, they were bullying a kid in the hallway. And they called them to the office and to the counselor's office so that and also the parents of the victim and also the bully, so they would talk it out. But I guess it's all good now because nothing like that happens here in my school anymore. So, I would like to say go and help someone, as you said, even if you're not friends with them, because why not? That's an act of kindness after all.
A great answer. Excellent. Anything else anybody want to add? All right. If not, we have come to the end of this podcast. I would like to thank our participants, Naila, Fardeen, Numaya, and today's special guest, Sifat. Thank you, everyone. So, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Before we wrap up, I would like to remind our listener that there are several resources available for individuals dealing with bullying. The government of Alberta has bullying helpline, and that supports and advises those who experience bullying. The helpline can be reached at 1-888-456-2323. Bullying is a violation of human rights, should not be tolerated under any circumstances. We all have responsibility to speak out against bullying and take action to prevent it from happening. Thank you for joining in conversation with Manwar Khan, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.